So as I was saying, I'm going to look at gold, then EURUSD, then AUDUSD, and then USDJPY. So just look at the 1 hour time frame for the directional bias, and then the 5 minutes time frame for entry setups. So on gold, currently price has been bullish on the 1 hour time frame, and it recently just created a new change of character. Well, what's happening with my charts? Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, price has been bullish. This was the first change of character created this month, I guess. Yeah, and then price went on to create another breakout structure. And after this breakout structure, price created a very small inducement. In this area, you can see this was an impulse move, then a pullback, then an impulse move, meaning this became a valid inducement. And price went on to take on that inducement, making this a valid higher high. And then price broke above this point. This became a valid breakout structure, meaning price was still bullish on gold. And when this breakout structure was created, this became a valid lower high. So this is our dealing range from this zone to this one. But in this case, as you can see, there's no any inducement here in this area. So recently price just created a change of character here, meaning we could see gold going bearish, targeting maybe this unmitigated point of interest. So you may see an extended short on gold, but before that, maybe price will go to retrace and rebalance these levels where price left an imbalance. Then going to the 5 minutes time frame for entry setups on gold. Let me just make this visible only to the 1 hour charts. Right, so this is what we have on the 1 hour. Price may go to rebalance these imbalances before continuing bearish, or price may just continue bearish from the current market price, but we do have these imbalances which are points of interest. Okay, so you may see gold continuing bearish from the current market price, or price may go to rebalance these levels, then maybe give us a bearish push. But mind you, this is just for directional bias, it's not for entries. For entries, we need extra confirmation on the lower time frames. So this is what I have on gold for the 1 hour time frame. Now I'll go to the 5 minutes time frame to identify our entry setups. Right. On the 5 minutes time frame, as you can see, gold is going bearish, and I had the entry setup that I sent yesterday in the Discord channel with just hit a stop loss. So the reason behind the setup was price created a breakout structure here, then made an adjustment, and this was the extreme point of interest, and gold was bullish. So the only thing to do here was to take bullish entries on this extreme point of interest. But as you can see, this didn't play out well. This was the stop loss -1 hour on gold, and then price went on to create a new change of character on the 5 minutes time frame. So after change of character, normally we just look for a adjustment, then start looking for points of interest to take shorts. So here you can see price create change of character, and if you were to look for the nearest adjustment, in this case it would be this one. Yeah, this will be our adjustment because it's the last valid pullback created. So let me just zoom in so it's clear for everyone to see. Right, so after this change of character, you can see all these candles are inside this blue candle here, and this blue candle low is here, this blue candle high is here, was taken out by this black candle, making this a valid adjustment. Right, so after the valid adjustment is created, the next thing is to look for points of interest where we can potentially take shorts from. And we have 2 points of interest that we can use. One is the decisional and one is the extreme. So for the extreme, we have to go all the way up to this last created high right here, and then we have to look for an order block. As you can see, all the order blocks were mitigated as price was being delivered except for this one. So this is the last valid extreme order block we have on gold if we were to take shorts. Right, but the order block alone is not enough to give you like a bias, like in entry confluences. We need some more things to see. So after this inducement, the first order block above the inducement is our decisional order block. So in this case, it would be this one. So this is our decisional order block. So if gold is too short, it will either sell from this decisional order block or from this extreme order block. And if you want to trade the reversal, you can take long positions targeting this inducement or even this decisional and extreme order block. But for me, I just take entries from the extreme order block. So I'll wait for price to go all the way up here, or price will create another structure. And then I'll start looking for shorts on gold. But as of now, I don't have any valid entry setup that can be mitigated today on gold. So I'll just be watching price delivered and be patient enough to wait for the next setup. Then going to the Euro USD, again, let's start from the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so from the 1 hour time frame, as you can see, price is currently bullish. This was the last breakout structure created. So mind you, this is just an internal range, or you can see here's an internal range. The main range just created a change of character. So this is the main range change of character created. This was the previous high, and price created another change of character here. So everything you see here is an internal range, right? So based on that internal range, you can see the last breakout structure created was this one, and then price went on to mitigate this inducement and then give us a small bullish push and left a point of interest here, which just got mitigated. So my plan is to look for long positions. I'm already in a position, by the way, on gold on this point of interest, and my risk reward is, is always 1 to 4. So Euro USD already mitigated this point of interest, and then it's now maybe going bullish. But if that fails to happen, then we could see price coming all the way down here to create a change of character. But as of now, I have a bullish sentiment on this area here, and I'm already in a long position. This is for the 1 hour time frame. Then on the 5 minutes time frame for entry setups, the setup I just showed you, I took it on the 1 hour time frame, by the way. But for entry setups, I recommend taking it on the 5 minutes time frame for a better risk reward. So here you can see that gold is already going bullish, and that's for the analysis of 5 minutes. You can see that price is currently, okay, let's look at the internal structure analysis. So price was previously bullish. This was the last high created, and this was the last low high created, which created a new change of character here, and price failed to go long from this extreme order block. So this is no longer valid. And here you can see that price just mitigated this inducement right here, giving us a new valid lower low because price created a change of character. So this is our new valid lower low, and this trade I'm taking is on the 5 minutes time frame. It will be a reversal trade, not a continuation. Okay, so if price take out inducement here, we have to look for the next order block, which will be the decisional order block, which is this one right here. This will be the first point of interest to take shorts from. That fails, then we'll be looking for the extreme point of interest. In this case, it will be somewhere around this one here. So on the EURUSD currently this week, this is the only trade I sent as an entry setup in the Discord channel, which failed to go to the take profit and ended up as a break-even trade, but I'd already taken some partial profits here. So looking for the extreme point of interest here with the extreme order block, we have to look for a candle that took out liquidity and has an imbalance below it. So you can see all this candle here don't have any imbalances below them, and this one took out liquidity, doesn't have an imbalance. Okay, so this would be the last valid extreme point of interest here, or the extreme order block, because it took out liquidity of the previous candle. It is a very small imbalance on it, so this will be our extreme order block. So if I'm looking for an entry setup on the Euro USD, either I'm taking shorts from the decisional or from the extreme order block. But as of now, I'm in a long positions based on the 1 hour time frame. So just wait for my TP to be hit here. So that means I'm not going to be considering this decision order block. I'll just stick to the 1 hour time frame analysis and hold my position. Okay, so just go back to the 1 hour time frame and then wait for price to be delivered from this point of interest that I just took an entry at. Okay, this should be on the 1 hour. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this is what I have on the EURUSD. I'm in the long position right now from this point of interest. Now going to the AUDUSD again, I will start from the 1 hour time frame for directional bias. So initially when the week started, price took out inducement here and validated this point as a valid lower low, and then was anticipating price to go to this extreme point of interest, but price reversed before it reached the point of interest, and now it's currently going for this low here, but it's not yet taken out, so it's acting as liquidity right now. And as you can see, price just stepped on it and created a double bottom, which makes it even like high probability liquidity. So if price is to go bullish, we may see price going to this extreme point of interest, extreme order block, I mean, right? Then come back for this liquidity, or price will just come take this liquidity out, then create a reversal setup, and then go bullish targeting this extreme point of interest. But this is just for directional bias, so I'll be expecting bullish moves on the AUDUSD if price is to continue to this extreme order block, but price may go short as well, just take out liquidity and then continue going bullish. But this is just for directional bias. So for entry setups, I'll go to the 5 minutes time frame to see how price is being delivered and what I can potentially take trades on. So on the 5 minutes time frame, on this week we called 3 trades actually, just sent entry setups on. The first one was this one from this extreme order block, and it was a take profit plus 4R, and the second one was from this point of interest, again take profit plus 4R, and this one I sent it earlier this morning, which resulted in a stop loss. Because price was bullish, I was anticipating buy positions from this extreme order block, but as you can see, price gave us a small bullish push to at least 2R, so this could have been a break even if your trailing stop is at 2R. But for me, it was a stop loss because I didn't take any partials or any break even. I was waiting for TP, so this was a stop loss. And the next setup I sent was this one from this point of interest, which got missed. Price continued to go bearish without mitigating, but I took an entry around this zone here because I knew price was going short, but it was not a big position, just a small position, just to ride the trend. Okay, so this is what we have on the AUDUSD right now. Change of character created, and then after that, price made a new breakout structure. That breakout structure, price went on to take out this inducement. After the inducement taken out, price made a valid lower low, which ended up creating a breakout structure here. Then price validated at this point is a valid lower high. Then after that, price went on to take out another inducement here, making this a valid lower low. And after that, price created another valid breakout structure, making this a valid lower high. And after that, we have an inducement right here which just got mitigated. And after the inducement mitigation, price created a new valid lower low. So now after inducement, we have to look for our order blocks. So we have to look for the extreme and the decisional, and we can take trades either from the extreme or the decisional. So what I recommend, if you're on a winning streak, you can take even from the decisional. But if you're in a losing streak or you want to recover from a loss or a drawdown, I recommend only taking trades from the extreme point of interest or the extreme order block. In this case, it's here. This is the extreme. And for the decisional, as far as I can see, there's no any decisional. So we only do have the extreme point of interest. And if I'm to take an entry, I'll be entering on this direct mitigation, stop loss just above it, and then my target is 1 to 4 as always. So I'll be targeting this low. So I'll just give my trade some room to breathe just in case price do a liquidity grab before going bearish. So for AUDUSD, this is the entry setup I have. I'll send it in Discord after this session. Then going on to the last pair, I'll look at today, USDJPY. I'll start from the 1 hour time frame. So as you can see here, price is currently in a bearish market. It created a change of character here. I mean a broker structure, then a liquidity grab, moving this lower low from this point to this point. So the dealing range was from this higher low to this lower low. And as you can see, price just created a new change of character when it broke this high, meaning this pair is now bullish on the 1 hour time frame. And when price is going bullish, usually it is to come back and retrace to rebalance all the zones that are left in this area. All these imbalances has to be mitigated. But on the 1 hour time frame, while we're still there, you can see that price created an inducement, which is here. So usually what happens if price just go up with a very strong momentum like it did here, usually price will come back, take out inducement, and do something like this, and then start a reversal, rebalancing all these areas and taking all this liquidity left in these areas. So this is what we may see on the USDJPY. But for that to happen, we need to see a change of character first on the lower time frames before we can start taking entries on the 5 minutes time frame. So now that we know what we are looking at in the 1 hour time frame, I'll go to the 5 minutes. So on the 5 minutes, you can see that price is actually in a bullish market. I believe we caught a trade from this zone here, targeting this area, which was a 1 to 4. That was the only trade I took, I think, on USDJPY for this week. So price created a breakout structure here, took out inducement, and then after inducement was taken out, this became a valid breakout structure. So our dealing range was from this zone here to with this zone here after a new inducement was taken out. This was our new valid higher high, which just got liquidated here, meaning we could see price going bearish right now, targeting maybe this extreme order block on the 5 minutes time frame. So if I'm to look for setups, I'll be looking for a 1 to 4 risk reward, targeting this extreme. And if I can get a 1 to 4, I'll be entering this trade. Yeah, so this is a trade you can enter based on liquidity taken out at this point, and the extreme point of interest is here. So yeah, this is it, guys, what I have for today on the 4 pairs on our watch list. If anyone has a question, you can type in the chat and I'll be happy to answer your questions. And all the entry setups that I discussed in this Zoom session, I'm going to upload them in the Discord channel. So just keep an eye on the market analysis server. I'll be sending analysis entry setups in each pair's channel. So yeah, this is it, guys. I recorded this session, by the way. I'm going to post it on YouTube, I think, and you can rewatch it from there. For the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat and I'll be happy to answer your questions.